Hello guys, welcome to my channel. It's Noshi Action again. So you can subscribe my channel over there. You can see my channel over there, and you can visit my blogs. Also, my blog link already mentioned in the description. So let's create something with Firebase. So today I'm gonna start a new tutorial about this Firebase console. So search for Firebase and you have this Firebase in this first section or first screen, and just simply press on go to console because if you are already signed in, you must have this kind of options top right, that go to console. If you don't doesn't log in, just make sure you have account connected with Firebase. Now press this go to console button. It's loading and completely loaded. Now let's create a project. Just simply press on add a project and name it like my first project, and then continue. Yep. And then it's saying like few things to remember about Firebase project, some informations about, you can read those articles or you can easily press this continue. And now configure this Google Analytics server, and you can simply choose the default one or you can create new server. So I'm gonna press the new server and press this add to Firebase. Now it's creating my project. It's finishing up now. Continue. Now you have this kind of structure of Firebase if you're the beginner in Android Studio or Android programming like that. You'll find this kind of interface. So here you'll find your project name, and you get this kind of information that you have Spark plan. This Firebase has two different plans, like you can go with Spark plan. It almost has some free features, and the Blaze plan also is a premium plan. You can implement on iOS, Android, and you can on web, like web HTML applications, and Unity, the game engine. So now I'm going to give you some overview. First of all, in my left corner there is one sidebar. Here you will find the build, the heading of these implementations. First of all, the authentication. Authentication means like you can either a user let them to do like sign in, sign up, or like login for creating a space or UID. And then the Firestore database, the new one. This is the new add-on for Firebase. It's a kind of real time, but it's storing the data with the encryption system. And then the real-time database. Real-time database you already know and heard of it. Like real-time, it means like it shows you or gives you the real-time data on the spot. And then storage, it saves your files like documents, data files, images. Then hosting means when you probably like build your application and just launch your application, you can host it through this Firebase. And then functions, in this function section, let me go over it first. You can implement your own functioning, like function ideas. You can introduce your functions, like you can see, but you cannot use this in free version of the Firebase. And then machine learning, and machine learning is AI kind of programming, so you can implement many ideas in this machine learning things. You can implement like a bot and other things for helping others. And then after the build section there is another section, is release and monitor your application. These four means four options are really features are really important, because if you move to crash lights, it gives you information about your apps, like reporting apps and the solution, then performance of your own applications. You can also implement that. Then test lab is really important for your application. When you create an app but you don't know if it works or not, you can simply choose applications or browse from here, your Android apps or iOS app, and simply check your application is still good or not. It gives you more information like how many activities there are, like XML files and other things. Then app distribution means like if you want to distribute the pre-release like alpha, beta, the versions, there it works like which version you want to submit, the pre-release version. Then analytics over there. Before I jump up to this analytics, I want to say something about this app distribution. Like you can see, there are much more features in this Firebase console. You can do anything on Sketchware, on probably on Android Studio. So you don't have to create manually, like you don't have to create manually update application, or manually implement some kind of update from other things. Like you can also implement these kind of things, features. Now jump up to the analytics, and here it's a dashboard. You can simply get your details about your applications, like the user engage, like how many users are using your application right now. Like, but for this analytics view, you should have one I mean you need to have one Google Console ID, and make sure your console ID and your Firebase project informations are matched, linked together. Then you can implement this analytic view. And in this analytic dashboard, you can see the real-time events, like real-time things, then events, then conversations, audience. Like it's all basically features of analytics, and this helps admin to rectifying or to watch user behaviors for for his or her application. And then go over to engage, and here it's the engage is good for the business things, like you can release one applications, but you don't know if your events data helps to understand how user will behave. Like if you want to create an application related to with business management, like a food ordering application or anything like ordering, so you want to implement Admob, AdSense, or subscription thing. So you want to know how user reacts to your application and what user really wants from your application. So this prediction allowing to give you automatically data retrieving from user, what they are just I mean they are doing. Like you already know that Facebook and Google also tracking us every day, and they are also suggesting us some ads uh, which preferring by your daily life. And it works same like this Facebook or any other social media. So next one, the AV testing is so much is all like test lab, but it's kind of different. And there's some like you can create experiments over your applications through this Firebase. Means this is a whole console application, you can do whatever you like with your applications. And the third one is cloud messaging. We already know about the cloud messaging. I have a video in my channel. You can see about cloud messaging over there. Let me show. You can find the one signal also a cloud messaging kind of, and also the figure also kind of cloud messaging. So cloud messaging means like when your data saved in cloud storage, means saved your chat in cloud, so it gives some notification to user, and you can see this structure like people can have this notification from that from Firebase, and individual will get this kind of notifications. In app messaging means, let me show you. So in app messaging means like sending messages to engage the right user at the right moment. Means like there are two users, like how one user active for other, so it gives some like inner active or inactive looking in app messaging. Then the remote configurations, and remote configuration means like it's kind of server side configurations parameters. First of all, you need one parameter key, then default value. You can also create the JSON, so it means like it's a completely JSON format. You can hold this kind of string variables, and also add keys, and you can everything store within a JSON editor. You can directly config with different peoples with this JSON. We can use it in implement the webhooks on Slack or any other applications. And next one is dynamic link. As the dynamic link is about um yeah, send user to the right place in your application, or it is not. Okay, so it means like it gives you some informations if it will installed or not in your device, dynamically informations retrieving from your application, like so it means if you have one application and you want to send users this application to use, so this features helps to compiling like if it is already installed or not, if the access file or bundles are in the right place, or like working well or not. This kind of working statement is called dynamic links. And then Admob, we already know what is Admob from implementing the real ads from Google Advertise. But there is one difficulty with Google AdSense and Admob. Google AdSense means you own self promote your application to others with the Google AdSense, so you need to pay for that. But AdMob gives you money because AdMob generates ads which sells to other users if they click on those ads like banner, interstitial, you will get paid. So yeah, the AdMob works. And the last one is extension. You can you have all kind of extension you can implement what you like to implement, like resize image. So you can, if you have one image and you want to resize with these features in the cloud storage, you can easily resizing the image and deleting the original one. So it means like um, you have one chat application and you want to you have this Spark plan. So this Spark plan also one downside, like it gives you only 5 GB of storage, so make sure you have more space. So that's why this resize images works like this option helps us to sizing the images so it gives you the perfect look and compressing the image size. So it also so that's why it uh, just saves your plenty of storage and compressing the image. You can install it from here. You can also learn about more. Then you can exporting this all updates, like sending real-time updates in BigQuery. BigQuery means you can see you can export your informations in your Excel format, and you can see everything in offline also. So here's the trigger email. It's the based on the document written to specific Cloudflare store. You can also learn it from there. There is some much more things, but only you can only uh, implement these two features for Sketchware, and you can implement everything for Android Studio. And the lastly, there is a Spark plan. So you can see if I press on upgrade, it gives you planning, like pay as you go, the place plan. So yeah, you can select this plan, or you also can stick with this current plan. So that's all about this Firebase. And press the settings. You can go to the project settings. You can find the project name over there, then project ID, then project number, then API key, but API key not available. I'm gonna show you how you can create this API. Then the public facing name, you can also re-edit the public facing name. You can change the name. The supported email, you can change or uh, gives the sign-in email. Now I'm gonna add these things in my Android application. So I'm just name it like example.app name for giving you some norms for this application. Now register this application. Make sure you have SHA1 fingerprint, and this helps you to gives you some privacy when you are in OTP verification or phone number verification or Google sign up verification method. Now you have one application added. You can see you can also implement the SDK, and you can also download the JSON format if you want to. Then app ID shows and other. You can also add fingerprint from here. It support SHA1 and 256, but there is still no web API key, so let's build it. First go to authentication over there and just simply press on get started. Now if you are new, so you should know what is email and password. Email password means you find in Sketchware authentication components, and when you turn it on, it gives you email and password block. So simply press place to blocks like edit text 1 and edit text 2. So simply get email from email address and password from user, then enable it. Then you can also enable this phone number authentication, enable it from there. You can also implement Google authentication or Google sign in. For that you need to have this project public facing name, then email address, then also the Google client ID is optional. If you are in Android Studio, you should have a client ID for SDK configurations. Now it's saying that configuring SHA1 for configured download, because SHA1 needed for configuring Google authentication. Now you can also implement Facebook, Twitter, this kind of login features. Then you can also sign in as anonymous. You can also limit user like one account per email address or sign up quota. Just simply press on change and fix your quota, and then on temp. So in this template section you will find different type of fields, like you can change sender name from what to replay, who to replay, this kind of thing. The reset section also the same. Then SMS verification is one type, you can see you cannot change. And in this user section you will probably find this sign of information, or you can usually like import user, like if you already have like abc email.com gmail.com, then password, then user should have the similar informations. Now press one project settings. Now you can see you have this web API enabled. So after the authentication system, then go to Firestore database. You can implement Firestore for powerful queries. It's a new version, but it don't support Sketchware, unfortunately. You can implement it. It's almost like real-time database, same, but it has real-time database and storage both in one place. And here's the real-time database. You already know. You can change, or you can create database, change your place. You can simply go to lock mode or test mode, but if you choose test mode, it deleted your project after 30 days. In the locked mode, you will find this kind of setup like read write false, but if you are creating one chapter application, make sure both are true, or the user or the particular another user cannot read the data. You go simply over there and just remove from there code like type true and simply move over there, code true. It's done. Now publish. Okay, make sure this okay. Now it's gone and publish. So here, now go to storage, create started. For creating storage, choose your original storage server. So it is now creating the default bucket, setting up the security rules. It is now created. Now move on rules and edit your rules for showing or storing data. Make sure if true, publish. It's done. Now you already know about hosting, so I'm gonna skip these options because it's simply just to get started and you need to install these things in your application, but it won't work really with Sketchware. So you first you export your files in Android Studio, then make sure you have the Gradle files, then you can work with it. After that, move to project settings, go to cloud messaging. You can see you have already key and sender ID. You can also configure your iOS app application, or you can press on add server key again, so it makes you another server. Then in this integration section you have this Google Analytics, Admob, other features. So I'm gonna skip it for now. And service accounts. In the service account, you can either create a service for your admin application or other database secrets, like you might not reveal So it create one admin SDK for your application. Then in this data privacy, you will find like enter contact info. You can fill up everything like your data protections, your informations over there. Then user and permissions, like you are the owner or you can make other person owner. You can be a editor or viewer. You can set the moderators also. And the app check section, you will get this application is registered or unregistered. You can even manage the debug these tokens. Then you can see the storage real-time database, because we already set up these two, and also the functions. We're looking for that. These three are set up, that's why it gives you some information. Then if I move again to integrations, here in this Google Analytics you can see uh, the Google Analytics, the preview of uh, the currency, time zone, everything about your application. Here is your ID linked with the new server analytics. So you must have one Google Analytics account from this google.developer.com. Then move again to project settings, integrations. Make sure you have Google Play account, console ID attached with your project. Then this app features are not gonna work with this Sketchware. So BigQuery works. Google Ads you already know. Google sends ads, so you need one account for that. Then Admob, and then Slack. I'm gonna give you some actions about the Slack right now. So before that, I want to move to this cloud messaging implementations. Send your first message. So make sure your title notification is ready. Then notification image. So you'll find you can change everything. You can show the real time, and this everything works in JSON format. You can either give some image URL over there, optional name, then targets. You can change the make sure your package name, application package name, and Firebase database, Firebase information package name is the same also. Then you can also schedule now or schedule to tomorrow or yesterday, never possible. Then conversation about events. So you can conversation like is kind of triggers, simple triggered, like when press on app purchase it gives you notification, on first open it gives you notification. Those are triggers. Then in the addition fields, like you can add some channel notifications, custom data, everything. Then when you press review, it automatically send notifications to your client user application. So now let me go over to the integrations again. And in this Slack, if I install Slack, so I must have this webhook URL from Slack, then channel, and then Firebase. So you must have the Slack application installed and sign in and create with API. So if you already have created, this is no problem, no issue. Simply go to Slack, so it's a Slack. You must have one account for this Slack. You can also launch from here. You can see this is Slack. Slack means like you have your own database, your own system, like you can engage with your clients or your kind of your friends, families, everything. I already have signed in. You can see if I move on my Slack, it opening from here. So you can have your own space over there. I also implement my applications. You can implement thousand of applications over there in Slack. So that's for the Slack. So for the Slack, just press this Slack URL over there. You can find everything on console, then verify and save. It gives you the Slack webhook informations in your Slack application. So thank you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying a lot. So if you do, please subscribe and hit the share icon also. And if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask me. And one blog I already posted in my channel. You can see the blogger thing, no citizen survey. You can share your ideas with this. You can find the link in Android application also. You simply need to fill some forms, options. That's all. Subscribe and stay tuned for more tutorials. And yeah, this will be more longer than usual. So thank you guys. Good night and stay tuned.